Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please can we put our hands together as he steps into the hall? Please can we put our hands together for him? While he's getting to his seats, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we start this event now. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to specially welcome the Honourable Minister, the EVC, and all our dignitaries. Please can we be on our feet as we take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And to do that for us, we'll be taking a live anthem. I'd like to invite the very special Chi as it does justice to the national anthem. Thank you. I'm sure it won't be difficult to clap for Nigeria now with this national anthem. I saw the two ministers smiling. That is 5G national anthem. That is the future. That is the next phase of the national anthem. I'd like to specially welcome you all, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. 5G is the future. 5G is tomorrow. Today, we stand here all alive and we take a peek into tomorrow. We take a peek into the fastest way of getting things done, a faster way to achieve dreams, a faster way to achieve purpose, and that's how we are all gathered to unveil something very special. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. I'd like to especially recommend that you all please sit tight, follow us on this drive, and you will have indeed a very wonderful time. History has been made today, and as part of that history is you, is me, and so if your hands are not too busy, and it's not too much to ask, please can you put your hands together for yourselves for being a part of today's activity? Can you put your hands together? Can we do that together? I'd like to very quickly establish protocol. First of all, I'd like to welcome to our midst the former Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency and the present Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, a professor of high respect, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami. Please can we put our hands together for the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. A big welcome to you, sir. I'd like to also very quickly and specially welcome in our midst a very well-respected man when it has to do with housing and works, the Honorable Minister of State for Works and Housing, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Umar Ibrahim El Yaqub. Please can we put our hands together. I'd like to very quickly branch off and specially welcome one very well-respected Nigerian author Administrator and Professor of Electrical and Telecommunication Engineering. He's a former Vice Chancellor of Kano State University of Science and Technology and present Executive Vice Chairman and CEO of Nigerian Communication Commission. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Umar Garba Dambata. Please can we put our hands together for him. I'd like to very quickly also specially welcome the Director General and CEO and of course the Chief IT Officer of Nigeria. He is the DG of National Information Technology Development Agency. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, help me specially welcome Kashifu Unua Abdullahi. Please go and put our hands together for him. A big welcome to you. I'd like to also, as I've done before, just quickly repeat, we have in our midst the Chairman of Board of Jais Bank and other board members. I've done that before, just to re-establish a special welcome to Alhaji Omaru Mutalab and all board members. Please can the clap come again for them? Let's do that. They deserve to be specially welcomed and appreciated. I'd like to, at this point, now also very quickly welcome the Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, ably represented by Group Lead, Digital Support Group, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Chiaka Ben Obi. Please can we put our hands together for her. Let me also specially welcome very quickly at this point the Chairman and Founder of MAFAB Communication, our Chief Host for today, and the exact reason why we are here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Alhaji Dr. Musbao Muhammad Bashir. Please can we put our hands together for him. Okay. At this point, before we take a few more protocol, I think because we have to quickly buy time and run as fast as possible, I'd like to now welcome for the welcome address our chief host for today, the Chairman and Founder of MAFAB Communications, for his welcome address, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, please, the best way you can, Alhaji Dr. Musbao Muhammad Bashir. Please can we clap a little louder?
The Honourable Minister, Communications and Digital Economy, Alhaji Isa Ibrahim Pantami, the Honourable Minister of State, Alhaji Umar El Yaqub, the Executive Vice Chairman, Nigerian Communication Commission, Professor Umar Dambata, our royal fathers here present, our esteemed stakeholders, members of the board, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start my address with the famous quote from the late South African President Nelson Mandela, who said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." It has been a long walk where we are today, and we owe it all to God, especially when it appeared difficult. By this lens today, Nigeria through MAFAB 5G has therefore added a new chapter in its history towards a brighter, stronger future filled with hope and prospects. This launch of MAFAB 5G is the beginning of immense opportunities for the country, and it presents Nigeria's capabilities and infinite possibilities. Putting things in proper perspective, what we are doing today will play a major role in advancing new solutions that will push Nigeria from not just being a consumer of technology, but will put the country on the pedestal of playing an active role in advancing and implementing new technologies, and also enable the country not just to be a technology hub in Africa, but the world at large. You may have heard it before, but it bears a retelling. that the 5G network will usher into the country a wide array of business opportunities, wherein various businesses outfits will expand their frontiers with operational ease and speed, especially in the field of education, medical sciences, engineering, security, financial services, SMEs, smart cities, transportation, entertainment, among others. It will not only benefit urban areas, but also meet a long-term goal of ensuring connectivity in the rural areas and villages to enable them also enjoy benefit of this amazing technology. It is no secret that the countries that are able to provide their citizens with the latest network infrastructure with the 5G technology, which the 5G technology represents, it will also be the ones that will thrive in the coming years. They will be the ones that will stay competitive and the ones who will lead in innovation in addition to bringing social economic activities. And so I declare that with the 5G infrastructure, Nigeria will surely be ahead of many countries, especially in Africa. Indeed, with the 5G network, our future as a people and as a country is remarkably bright. The 5G technology is not just a mobile network, but it represents a new culture, a new era of connectivity, where billions of devices exchange data and instill intelligence in our everyday life. It creates new intelligent systems. It can help to develop new advanced manufacturing models. I cannot forget to mention the prospect of increased job opportunities as a consequence of value chain benefits of the technology will generate and offer. This is the dream that you have all gathered here today to launch. As a company, MAFAB is fully committed to bringing the benefits of 5G technology to Nigeria and Nigerians through developing its brand new network to drive economic and business development with increased broadband capabilities nationwide. As we launch our 5G today, we are also unveiling our brand new logo for the company, which heralds the dawn of new infinite possibilities which the technology offers. Distinguished guests, the journey to this day would not have been possible without the government and leadership of President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, who deemed it fit to conduct a transparent, globally acceptable standard in the auction of 5G spectrum brand licenses. We thank Mr. President for his unwavering commitment to see the policy to the end within the span of his administration. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to also express my immense gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Digital Economy Communication, Professor Isa Ali Fantami, and the Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Communication Commission, Professor Omar Dambata, for their support and encouragement, especially at the time the challenges look insurmountable. I cannot forget to express my deep appreciation to the board members of MAFAB Communication, our esteemed investors that make the job easier. Finally, I wish to thank members of staff of MAFAB for their diligence, commitment, hard work, and also to the contractors and suppliers for keeping faith with us and keeping us on schedule. I thank you all, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for making out time to mark this milestone. Thank you very much.
I just realized that our clap for today, they are not 5G compliant. Can the clap be a little louder? Can it be 5G compliant? The Honorable Ministers in our midst, the EVC, CEO, NCC, Chairman and board members of Jais Bank, our royal fathers, Chairman, Founder, MAFAB Communication, the representative of the FRS Chairman, NITDA team members present, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today is indeed a very special day, having gotten that very special welcome address from the chairman and founder of MAFAB Communication. I think it's proper and wise that we unveil. But just before we get to that point, we'll take two very important speeches from two very key and strategic people in the realm of 5G. And first, I'd like to respectfully invite to the microphone a man I'll be so happy to roll a few profiles to invite. He's a Nigerian author, he's an administrator, he's a professor of electrical and telecommunication engineering, he's a former vice chancellor of Kano State University of Science and Technology, and he's a man that understands the field of technology. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Communication Commission, Professor Omar Galba Dambata. Please, can your clap now be 5G compliant for him?
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, the Supervising Minister, under whose effective supervision the 5G revolution in this country is taking place. Please let us applaud the Honorable Minister. I would like to equally and singularly recognize the chairman of the board, the governing board of the Nigerian Communications Commission, distinguished Professor Adeolu Akande. He's seated here. So, if you ask me, I would like to observe, of course, the remaining list of protocol, including members of the Federal Executive Council here present, distinguished senators serving, and those who have served, members of the National Assembly in the House as well as in the Senate will fall under this list. The list is very, very long, and the time allocated to me is very limited. Only the minister does not have any limit, in the time that will be allocated him to speak. But the EBC, who is down there, in the ladder, will not be able to have that privilege and speak for too long. So I would like to observe the remaining protocol that has been so well established and proceed to thank Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces for putting this country on the 5G, the global 5G map, courtesy of an important 5G policy that was developed and was assigned to the NCC to implement. We must commend the important role the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy played in the development of this 5G policy. It is his singular effort that we have this policy, which we are implementing, which we have implemented, and the results are there for all to see. With the rollout of services by MTN, we have a new entrant. It has never happened in the telecommunications industry. A new entrant acquiring a spectrum in a fair, free, and credible auction. You know the cost of the slot they paid? I don't want to say it here. But that it runs into millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they paid. And that today we are celebrating the rollout of services by this new entrant. This is unprecedented in the history of this country. And as such, the commendation to the minister is endless. We can never say enough to really reward or acknowledge the effort he made in making this 5G revolution in this country a reality. And through him, to our leader, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the country. Thank you, Honorable Minister. And through you, we say thank you to Mr. President. And with your permission, I would like to acknowledge the important role played by the governing board of the Nigerian Communications Commission. Without the support we got, without the steadfastness of the board of the NCC, believe me, we wouldn't be where we are today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. MAFAB, Chairman MAFAB, thank you for coming in as a new entrant and surprising everybody. People are surprised. Perhaps one day you will spare time to write the history of how you did it. But a lot of us are surprised at the way and manner you took the challenge up. And we were there during the auction. All of us were there, members of the management, the board members were all there. We were busy briefing, the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy at every stage of the auction. And MAFAB persevered, survived. Many people were thinking as a new entrant they will not be able to make it to the last round. They did. People have been waiting to see whether MAFAB will indeed roll out. They are rolling out already. Okay? So what more could anybody say as evidence of the commitment of MAFAB to make a difference in the ICT sector of the Nigerian economy? Thank you, MAFAB, for not disappointing us. Okay? So I would like to congratulate all Nigerians who are listening and those who are watching that indeed there is a new revolution taking place. A storm is taking the telecoms industry, and these are indeed very, very pleasant times. I wish all Nigerians a very happy 5G experience. Thank you very much.
For the Executive Vice Chairman and CEO, Nigerian Communication Commissions, Professor Umar Garba Dambata. Please, can the hands come again? Please, can we put our hands together for that very beautiful speech? I don't know, maybe it's the lights or it's the new 5G. I don't know why the clap is not, or maybe I'm the one not hearing well. Can the clap come a little bit more? There's a recent discovery that clapping helps your immune system. So every time you clap, your immune system is getting a boost. Yes, that's a discovery by me. I'm here to submit it to the minister to give it a digital touch. We'll take a next speech before we take our unveil. But just before that speech, I'd like to humbly request for a couple of seconds to unveil one man. All the success that we talk about for the minister was not... I didn't expect less than that. Looking at his background, where he's coming from, what he has done, how he has crossed his T's and dotted his I's in the field of technology and information. I think the minister, for we younger people, he has brought in many smart ways, to outsmart every form of fraud, and also checkmating security with the SIM card idea, with a lot of ideas that have been coming up from his office. You must register your SIM card. We've been following a few things, and we've been saluting him for those very beautiful ideas. And I said that this is not short of what we expected, because the minister was a lecturer at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi in information and technology, and so he understands that field very well. He's the chairman of the World Summit on Information Society, WSIS Forum. That's very powerful. And he's also a fellow of the British Computer Society and a fellow of the Nigerian Computer Society. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a former Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency in Nigeria, and the present Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to respectfully invite to the microphone for his own address. With all due respect, and with humility of heart, I'd like to invite Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami.
The State Minister of Works and Housing, my friend and brother Omar Eliakub. Our father here, the chairman of Jai's board, Alhaji Umar Mutallab, the chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission Governing Board, Professor Adeyolu Akande, and all other commissioners here with him, the executive vice chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Professor Umar Garba Dambata, and also the chairman of MAFAB, Dr. Misbahu Bashir, respected personalities here present with us, ladies and gentlemen of the press, all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good afternoon to all of you, and may Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. I am highly excited to be here with you. Prior to that, permit me to use the opportunity to apologize on behalf of the stakeholders in the digital economy family for arriving here late. This is due to the fact that we had a commitment in the morning prior to receiving an invitation from MAFAB for this event. We have already committed ourselves to that event starting from 10 a.m. up to around 1 p.m. We had to reschedule the event and conclude it, I think, within just 1 hour, 30 minutes, and we immediately left the venue for this event. So that is why all of us came at the same time. And I do hope that you will understand the situation, why we came very late. And I do hope that our apology has been accepted. Furthermore, the previous speakers spoke on the 5G journey in Nigeria superficially, and there is no need for me to repeat that except where it becomes necessary. Firstly, what is most important is to remind ourselves that why we are here, the journey did not begin today, but rather it commenced most probably 3 years ago. To be specific, on the 25th November 2019, we converged here in Abuja for the 5G trials because it is part of the global best practice. Before deployment of any technology, there is need for trial. So we conducted the trial here for 3 months, commencing from 25th November 2019, in which I personally did the trial. Early 2022, there was an allegation of linking 5G with COVID-19. So we had to put everything on hold, even though we knew very well it was not true. But as government officials, you have to listen to the complaints of your citizens. Even if it doesn't make sense, you have to listen. You have to at least appreciate their observations, give them time, provide more awareness so that you will all be on the same page. Because of that, I immediately reach out to NCC. I say, with this allegation, say people linking 5G with COVID-19 and many more, as we know it's not true, but our citizens could not understand. The best way to handle, let us say we put it on hold. We engage them. And at the same time, we engage other stakeholders. When they are fully convinced, then we will be able to proceed. This is exactly what we did. We put it on hold. We engage our citizens using even our local languages, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, try to create more awareness. And at the same time, we organize more of a public engagement, stakeholder engagement, where we invited stakeholders to come up with their observations with regards to 5G. I was at the National Assembly also. The issue was mentioned on the floor, and I was invited. People who are trying to link 5G to COVID-19. So we engaged them. We were able to convince them. There was nothing like that. And this is normal. Whenever a new technology emerges, you will realize such kind of issues come up from time to time. Today, we don't have it anymore. Whenever you mention 5G, people are even inviting us, when are we going to have it in our state or in our town? But the situation was not the same early 2020. It was not the same. I could recall around 1882 in the United Kingdom, At the time they started installing street light, many people rejected even street light, including religious leaders, saying that Almighty God has mentioned in his divine books that he has created day and night. During the daytime, because of sunlight, there is light. At night, it's a bit darker. So when you install that street light, you are challenging the creation of Almighty God by converting the daytime to be like the nighttime to be like the daytime. So they rejected. Today, if you go to the UK and mention, people will just laugh at you. But this is what happened 200 years ago or thereabout. So that one is normal. We put it on hold. We engage our stakeholders. They were convinced, and we brought back the issue early 2022. To be specific, on 25th January 2022, just a day. By tomorrow, it will be 1 year anniversary. That His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari launched and unveiled the national 5G policy for Nigeria's digital economy. Tomorrow will be the 1 year anniversary. By 16 February 2022, as the chairman of the National Frequency Management Council, I have handed over the spectrums to NCC. They conducted a very transparent auctioning where two companies, two operators emerged as the winners, MAFAB and also MTN. So I handed over to NCC and they handed over to them. That is the 3.5 gigahertz. To be specific, from 3.5 gigahertz to 3.9 gigahertz. They handed over to MAFAB and also to MTN. MTN commenced the rollout, and MAFAB now has joined the queue. I want to use the opportunity to congratulate the chairman for remaining very committed to ensure the success of MAFAB. This is indeed very commendable. It is absolutely difficult. It is absolutely difficult to have a new entry, a new player who joins the sector within just a small period of time, very short period of time, and also to be competing with some of the most successful active players in the sector. This is indeed highly, highly commendable. And we do hope that MAFAB will continue to maintain the tempo. This is indeed very encouraging. Furthermore, there are many benefits of 5G. It's just beyond making calls. There are so many benefits of 5G. Most importantly, towards economic development. A research conducted by Boston Consulting Limited in the US in February 2021 has indicated that the rollout of 5G in the US will increase their gross domestic product within 10 years by a minimum of 1.4 trillion USD to 1.9 trillion USD. This is only because of the rollout of 5G in the US. As we know, they have the largest economy. The economy of the US today is probably around 1/4 of the world economy. Their GDP is around 25.5 trillion USD, followed by that of China, 19.9 trillion USD. Of recent, Japan overtook Germany to become the third largest economy with a GDP of around 4.6 trillion, then Germany number 4, and India overtook the United Kingdom as the 5th largest economy in the world. So if you look at the countries that are going higher and higher, you will discover that technology plays a significant role in catapulting their economy to where it is today. And it is very important also for our country to make use of that. Technology is still contributing to our economy. On 17 and 18 of October 2022, a ministerial performance retreat was organized by our principal, President Muhammadu Buhari, where all the ministries were evaluated by independent assessors, KPMG, Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, in collaboration with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. When it comes to GDP contribution to the economy, from the baseline given to me when I took over as a minister on the 21st August 2019 to 17 October 2022, we were able to increase revenue generation from ICT sector by 594%. 594%. This is unprecedented in the history of Nigeria. It has never happened. From the baseline given to me, we increased by 594%. By 594%, yes. And the quarterly revenue generation in ICT sector by August 2019, when I took over, was around 51 billion naira. But today, based on the independent assessment of these organizations, the revenue generation quarterly from the sector is 408 billion naira. From 51 billion to 408 billion naira, and it's still increasing. By month in, month out, it's still increasing. So we have increased revenue generation by 594% to the federal or federation account. And it's still increasing. And with the deployment of 5G, there are many opportunities that will also come on board. For example, in that research of Boston Consulting Limited, within that period of time in the US, 5G will create around 3.6 million new jobs to 4.8 million new jobs. And this is only within 10 years. So the benefits of 5G deployment is beyond just quality of service. There are so many benefits because new technology comes up with new benefits like low latency, very high quality broadband, faster network, and it allows real-time communication or almost near real-time communication. 5G can help that. Today, using 5G, virtual surgery is being conducted globally. They did in the US and also in China. They recently conducted a virtual surgery where the distance between the surgeon and also the patient is over 3,000 kilometers. But the surgery was conducted successfully. Treatment of Parkinson. And in China, they did it also recently. So 5G allows real-time communications. And this has so many benefits to our security institutions if they leverage on it. Because there are so many technological facilities in security that they leverage on 5G to allow our security institutions to manage our security challenges effectively, like robots. You need 5G today. There are so many technologies in artificial intelligence to help our security institutions. All of them leverage effectively on 5G. So this is in addition to economic benefits. The same in our education. There are so many benefits of our 5G. So I do hope that we will make use of this new technology to secure our country, to develop our economy, and at the same time to develop each and every other sector. Because digital economy today is no more an independent sector, but rather it is the key enabler of other sectors. If you take away digital facilities in our banking system today, then the system will become obsolete. The same in our defense, in our education, in our health. If you take away digital technologies, then definitely they will become obsolete, and they could not be able to operate effectively. So the digital technology is not an independent sector, but rather the key enabler of all other sectors. And I do hope that with this effort of MAFAB, of trying to increase 5G penetration in Nigeria, we will leverage on this to promote all other sectors. Once again, congratulations to MAFAB and to all investors in this new company. At the federal level, we are willing to continue to support new players coming into the sector, and it is very important. So if there is any challenge that MAFAB requires the intervention of government, please reach out to us immediately. It is our responsibility to support and to continue to provide the enabling environment. May the Almighty bless MAFAB, and may the Almighty bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much for listening.
Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Planning. A special salute and respect to MAFAB for this very special day. Congratulations to us as we take this great move. We are set for a very important segment, and that will be the unveiling of the new logo and the 5G demonstration. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to run this segment, I'd like to very quickly invite Mr. Bayo Onibanjo. Please, can we put our hands together? I'd like to call the attention of all the gentlemen of the press. This is a very key moment, so we can pay key attention, and then there will be a segment for few questions as it takes. Mr. Bayo Onibanjo.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to stand on established protocols. So today I'm going to walk you through our brand that you will now recognize as a new digital brand in Nigeria. So brand personality, when we talk about personality, it's our character. This is how we want you to look at us. This is how you want you to relate with us. And the brand is supposed to excite. It's supposed to be sincere. It's supposed to demonstrate competency. And it's supposed to demonstrate intelligence. So you see, you think of us as being bold. As the Honorable Minister said, this is a new entrant coming into an established market. It's creative because it enables creativity and is going to drive innovation. When we think about values, what are our values? These are our guiding principles. This talks about how we are going to treat our customers, how we're going to treat our employees, how we're going to treat our partners, and how we're going to even work with our competitors. It's going to be based around integrity, digital first. If you think about it, 5G is the first technology out there that's really based around data. So it's a very digital-centric environment. Excellence and customer care. So when you ask us why are we existing, it's connecting for a digital future. This is our driver. This is the basis of why we're here today. So let me just quickly walk you through how we got there so you can understand our concept. The first thing we decided was that we wanted to have a typographical icon, and that means we wanted text in our name. Why did we want text? We wanted text because we didn't want to lose MAFAB. It's very important when you have a new entrant like MAFAB that's coming in Nigeria, we want to preserve that, and that's a name we wanted to keep. The second was we wanted the logo to actually represent and include network, connectivity, and the internet, because that's what our brand is about. That's what we're going to provide. And then finally, we looked at integrity, customer focus, and innovation, and said we wanted our colors to embody that. So when you see us, you know what we're about. This then led us to these three key icons. The first to my left, I think everybody will recognize that. We all look at our phones and say, how many bars do I have? What is the signal? Do I have enough? The second is a universal symbol for connection. Connecting people. When you can connect people, connect networks, connect businesses, connect nations. And then, of course, our M. So, we graphically modified this to give us this. If you tilt your head to the side, you recognize the three bars. The first leg of the M is the connection, and of course this represents M. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, please allow me to introduce to you the newest telecom and digital brand in Nigeria. Thank you. So, this is us. We want to be vibrant. We want to empower people. We want to make the possible possible. Because everybody in Nigeria today has a desire to do something with data. And our ultimate goal is to make sure that we're enabling that and we're empowering that. It's a new way to connect. It's a new way to interact. It's a new way to deal and interact with people. Our icons are very simple and recognizable, and we hope that you will recognize us when we go out there and you hold us to these values that we've demonstrated today. You will also notice that even though 5G is about technology, like the Honorable Minister said, it's less about the technology, but what it enables. We won't show you devices or base stations or CPEs. It's going to be about people, because that's what we're driving. So, next, I think while we're all here, we've heard a lot about 5G. It's important for us to actually be able to show you the capabilities of 5G. So I'm going to get my colleague to join me on stage. While he's preparing, I'm just going to walk you through a few things. So, for us, I think everybody has talked about the value of 5G. But I think what we're even more excited about is the capabilities that this is going to provide. So, when we think about it, let's go through the next slide. That's why we need to get on 5G pretty quickly. We will not lose signal. Okay, so while they're trying to connect, what I was trying to get to is, if you think about 5G, forget the technology, forget the throughput that's going to provide. I think all of us today already use data. We know the experience we get with data. And we know that it's not ubiquitous in Nigeria already. Right, so from a 5G perspective, there is still a lot that can happen. Two things I want to quickly point out here is service deployment. Right, you will see with the throughput bandwidth that he gets, that you're getting this on wireless. It's very important to remember that. Today, you can deploy 5G very quickly compared to what we're experiencing today with 4G or even fiber-based networks, right? The idea is you get your CPE, it's plug and play, you provision it yourself in your house. So 5G can quickly do that. The other part is the spectrum efficiency. Nigeria is one of the few countries that have actually done it the right way by allocating 100 megahertz of spectrum. And why this is important is because this truly provides the capabilities to provide broadband service. So let me just give you a simple example. With that spectrum, today in 4G, you can connect very limited number of devices. Why? Because in the 5G technology, the signal actually talks to each individual device. Okay? And what that means is, in a 1 kilometer radius of the base station cell that we have here, we can connect 1 million devices. Okay? Now, of course, that doesn't guarantee that everybody has maximum throughput, but if you know what you experience today where you are in a crowded location with your 3G, 4G, and you can't open your WhatsApp or you can't send a video, this is not going to happen with 5G. And so those two things are really important for us. And that's why we're excited about the technology. Beyond just being able to fulfill what 5G offers, there is that opportunity to actually bring data to all of Nigeria. Okay? Kingsley, so can we proceed to... So what Kingsley is going to do is, and it's all of you can test it actually, there's an app on the App Store or your Play Store called Speed Test. And what he's going to do is just run a speed test on the network, on the MCON network, and you see how much bandwidth is actually coming. For context, this is effectively the data the bandwidth that's coming to your phone, right? So it means how much data can I send out, okay? And we're trying to push for 1.5 gig. So let's see how much we can get. Is actually very important because I think that's what most of us use today, right? For people that have been in the telecom space, if you remember I think we started out from, SMS, GPRS, and then, our data service was subscribing to a ringtone, and you got data. Today it's all video, and so you can see the bit rate of being able to support video, and we'll show you another use case that's actually a live video feed to demonstrate that. Okay, so that's a full 4K video streaming. Now, another example we wanted to show you is, again, something you can test, you can experience with your own network as it is today, is actually streaming an 8K video. Again, I think all of this stuff is exciting because it's just showing you the capabilities of what's possible. And I think, again, the Honorable Minister said it, about productivity. If I have a faster access data point, right, I can do more in a significantly shorter time. That's what this is about, right? So the fact that I can watch 8K video directly on a mobile device means, one, people that are working in this video space. So again, we acknowledge all the creativity spark, but think about our oil and gas industry, right? They have issues. They need to stream back exactly what is happening in real time. You need someone remote to be able to support you and access. Having clarity like this makes a world of difference than when you can't actually see what you're supposed to be supporting someone that's in danger, right? So these are the capabilities that exist with this type of technology. And as you can see, it's just streaming without buffering. That's the throughput bandwidth that exists with data. And that's the exciting piece of this, because that's what's going to drive the technology. Okay? And then I think our next demonstration is we actually have a mobile reporter that's outside using a 4K camera. He has a CPE assigned to him, and he'll be able to stream that directly back on here. We do have some of our media crew people in the house. If you think about it, they all have a VSAT satellite outside, right? So they're streaming their VSAT, but the reality of it is, with 5G now, you can actually do that without satellite, or at least that provides an alternative to satellite communication. And so that's why that is exciting as well. Okay, so they're setting up outside. But for us, that excitement around, one, providing data across the country is important. Two, is then enabling this type of new capabilities. Another big part of 5G that we're excited about is private networks, right? So the ability to support private networks. Okay, so it looks like we're live. Chinma, can you hear us?
Hi, and welcome to the unveiling of the new MAFAB logo. I just want to know, have you been having a good time?
I've been having a great time. This is extremely exciting.
It looks so exciting for me too. So I just have a few questions for you. Could you kindly introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Hafiz Giwa. I am the managing partner of HCI, and we advise and invest in real estate and infrastructure.
Thank you. What do you think 5G will, or how do you think 5G will influence the way that we live?
It's simple. I'm going to reiterate what the minister and the chairman and Bayev just said. The first is the innovation is limitless. The minister talked about telemedicine, where you're having surgery done 3,000 miles away. But if we come to Nigeria, it is even simpler than that. There are things around the entertainment industry, whether it's virtual reality or augmented reality. There are things around smart cities. There are things around security. So again, as we see the tech space kind of grow in Nigeria, this is something that allows that space to even innovate more. So it's extremely exciting.
That sounds very exciting as well. So I just wanted to let you know that we're currently broadcasting through our 5G network. So everyone, turn to your neighbor and give them a 5G smile. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so That was the demonstration. We do have some virtual reality type demonstrations, and we have the first set of CPEs, both indoors and outdoor CPE, that are available. That's going to be coming to market. But with that, I'd like to thank you again and hand over back to the MC.
I'd like to, at this time, just quickly open up a window for questions and answers, maybe from the press or from anybody in the hall who wants to get a quicker understanding on a few things. Just for a few minutes. So number one, I just need to attach numbers to them so we can wrap up when we need to wrap up. So I have number one already. Any other hands up? Number two, sir. Number three. Please can I get the second microphone? Yeah, thank you, BB. So I have three people for questions. 1, 2, 3. You want to ask it from there? You want to come forward? Okay, from there. Yeah, we have a lady. 4. Okay, thank you. So number one, Mr. Sir, please will you come a little forward? We have some questions so that we can. Your name and your question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel Lebeke. I write for Vanguard newspaper.
Sorry, sir. Vanguard newspaper.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I want to first of all congratulate MAFAB for wading through the storm of coming into the very ever competitive Nigerian telecom industry. My question is, could the chairman or the founder tell us how much it cost the company to acquire the license? And also, what will be the area of focus? Are you going to cover the whole Nigeria, or you have a particular area you want to focus? And do you have a target of, what is the target of your penetration in the next 1 year?
Okay, that's number one. Number two. Number two. Oh, number two was somewhere. Okay, we skip. Number three. Oh, are you number two? Oh, yeah. Lady, please, the microphone.
The courage, exhibited by MAFAB is commendable. My name is Biodun Borishade. The courage is commendable. The sagacity is absolutely brilliant as well. The question is more technical. How will the technology get to the rural area? A couple of years back, a few states granted right of way at less than a naira per kilometer, right, for fiber optics. Very few of them have started deploying infrastructure. Now, how we want to get this technology to the rural area is a challenge that I think the Honorable Minister has to get the state governments to key into very quickly. Otherwise, this laudable project, which Nigerians will thank MAFAB for in a couple of years, particularly the youth, if the state governments are not quickly woken up to key into the agreements that they've entered with various partners for fiber optic provision in states, I think this would suffer. So I think the question is how MAFAB, being a pioneer indigenous company, will break that ground between the state governments and the agreements they've signed into providing your backbone, which is fiber optics.
Okay, thank you. So I think we're at number 4. Yeah, sorry, I just take the first 4. That's why I was wishing we could raise our hand earlier then. So number 3 now, then there's a lady that is number 4. Number 3 was somewhere. Are you number 3, sir? Okay. Sir, you're taking notes. Yes.
Okay. My name is Sani Bala Al-Sadiq. I'm a designer by profession, politician by orientation, consultant by extension.
Sir, so finally now, who are you?
I'm a journalist also. Okay, you see, for any project, I think the first thing that comes to mind is the sustainability. How do MAFAB plan to sustain this project?
Okay.
Then secondly, how do investors come in? Do you have a window for Nigerians to come in and have a stake in it? Thank you.
Thank you. Then the lady. Yes.
My name is Ahmed Khadija Gusso. I work for VRT Magazine. Now the question, MAFA and the common man. What is the cost implication? Are we looking at using our minimum wage to buy data? Have you considered how the common man can afford the 5G network and how effective it will be in our country? Thank you.
Okay, so these are the first 4 people, sir. We'll take this first. I think I had another lady. I was told to major on ladies, but ladies didn't raise their hands early. Okay, so we take one more lady. So it's like 3 men, 2 ladies. So, before you take me to jail personally.
Thank you, Chiefs. Good afternoon. My name is Aisha Umar. Congratulations to our brother.
This is wonderful. My question has to do, as a lay woman, where does MAFAB come in vis-a-vis the service providers that are in existence?
Okay.
You know, your MTN, Airtel, etc. Just as a layman, ordinary person, it's just a bit too technical. Where do they come in? Where does MAFAB come in? Thank you very much.
Okay, so Ross, I was at that question when you finished answering your own. So she got somewhere in my mind. So let's take 1 minute.
Okay, so based on time, let me start from the last. Where does MAFAB come in? So MAFAB is licensed as an operator in Nigeria. So we have a universal license, and what that means is we can provide both voice and data, and that's our objective as well. So we'll provide voice and data. One of the things that we've talked about is 5G as a technology is actually designed with data first. Right, so if you think about GSM, 3G, 4G, they were originally and designed for voice. We then use technology to modify that pipe for data. So the hope and plan is that now that you have a proper data network, it will serve you better, especially in your data applications. So MAFAB is going to be nationwide, and it's going to have voice and data. Okay. So second question, in terms of the common man, look, I think one of the beauties of having the regulator and the minister is this is a regulated market. So MAFAB in itself is not going to come and say, oh, you have to pay this premium, right? We're going to be competitive in terms of pricing. More importantly, we're coming in new, which means we have to be aggressive. So I think at the end of the day, the consumer is actually in a better position because now you have someone else that can offer you an alternative if your current service provider is actually very expensive. And that's our plan, right? We aim to be competitive. We aim to design our networks. We know we have an advantage because of the type of technology that we have and the type of network that we're deploying. So, for example, fixed wireless access, when we talk about broadband to the home, we actually can provide it in a more significant way than currently exists. In terms of sustainability and investors, absolutely. I think when you think about sustainability, look, we're here. There's a lot of investment that has been made, right? So this company exists, it aims to be here for a long time. And so I think as we go through and start deploying, there's definitely going to be opportunities for new investors and both the general public in Nigeria in the future. As of now, that our focus is really just to get the network out so people can start experiencing it, understand it, because even you as an investor, before you make that decision to invest, you want to actually make sure that these guys know what they're doing and they actually have a service and they're making money. Going to the question around rural areas, right? So absolutely, look, it's a challenge, but I also think we have an opportunity as MAFAB. We're coming in today. I was part of the very first network deployed in Nigeria, and I think when you compare the cost of a base station site in, back then and now is significantly different. We have an opportunity to take advantage of infrastructure that already exists. The regulator itself has made it possible for services and infrastructure to be shared. And so that hopefully helps not just us as a new provider, but even the consumers, because now you have not, because if you think about it, when telecom started, you had 3 base stations next to each other from 3 different providers. Now you're seeing less of that, because providers realize that, look, if I'm going to get to a rural area, it's best for us to come together, put our infrastructure there, let the equipment be there, and focus on how you sell your value, your brand, and the services you provide, the customer experience. And that's going to be our objective as well. So from a rural perspective, we know it's going to be challenging, but I think we also have a path to actually being able to provide that. And then I think the last question around, in terms of the cost, I think the cost for the spectrum is already listed. Where we'll be in a year. Our objective is we're going to be rolling out very aggressively. There's going to be a timeline of cities that are coming up. Right now we're in 6 cities, and then progressively you start getting an update on each city as they become available. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Mr. Bayo, I need you for one more thing. There's a password here you have to. Mr. Bayo, sir. The 5G, I think all of us should test it. I went to talk on behalf of the common man that chairman should allow us use the 5G while we are here. And it's even we that didn't subscribe. So Bayo, as a jobless Nigerian youth who know how to use free internet, please call the password quick, Bayo. Don't stress me.
So what we've done is some of the CPEs have actually been enabled, right? So the idea is if you look on your Wi-Fi, you look for the SSID, MCOM 5G. So that's the Wi-Fi network you want to connect to. There's MCOM 5G, there's MCOM 5G1, there's MCOM 5G2. You can connect to any one of the 3. The password is very, very simple. Please do not use this type of password at home. It's 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So that's 8 ones.
Bayo, don't give us free thing and confuse us. So 1 1 in 8 places.
Yes.
1 2. Vote of thanks very quickly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to invite for the vote of thanks the chairman, governing board, Nigerian Communication Commissions, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Professor Adeolu Akonde. Please can we put our hands together for the chairman of governing board.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I've been asked by the chairman of MAFAB to give a vote of thanks on behalf of the company. I don't know why he did that, because I work with the NCC, not MAFAB. But today is MAFAB's day, so we have to oblige them. In December 2021, when MAFAB won one of the lots, the spectrum, there was agitation in the industry. And in the press, questions were raised. How a new entrant in the sector could win that slot. There were also fears that MAFAB would not be able to pay the cost of that spectrum. MAFAB paid the money, but yet the fears persisted that MAFAB would not be able to roll out. Today, MAFAB is rolling out. So it is perhaps the duty of MAFAB to give vote of thanks, but I must admit that for those of us in NCC, we also have cause to thank God for today, because our integrity was on the line. And if MAFAB is unable to perform, that would have raised a big question mark about the competence and integrity of those of us in the NCC. So when he asked me to give the vote of thanks, I believe at the NCC we also do have cause to be thankful to God for this event. It's been a wonderful event, and on behalf of MAFAB, I want to thank all the guests who have turned up for this colorful event. I want to thank the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy for his presence and for the leadership he's providing for the sector. There is no doubt that the sector is doing very well under his leadership. The President and Commander-in-Chief on several occasions had said that the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy is one of the best performing ministries under his administration. And with the event of today, we have seen once again that the ministry is doing very well. And we have cause to thank MAFAB for not confirming the fears of those who doubted the competence and capacity of the company to perform. MAFAB is an indigenous company. And one of the goals of President Muhammadu Buhari is to promote indigenous entrepreneurs and make sure that they do well in vital sectors of the economy. With the event of today, we can see that that aspiration of the President and the administration is coming to pass. And I believe that was why the minister also said that the government will be available to offer all assistance necessary to make sure that MAFAB and other indigenous operators in the sector do very well. So on behalf of MAFAB, I thank everyone for turning up, and I wish up journey mercies to our respective destinations. Thank you, and God bless.
Chairman, sir, sorry, don't stress you, sir. Would you just stand around here? We'll take pictures very quickly. I'd like to invite the honorary ministers, Minister of State, Works and Housing, sir, Communication, the Executive Vice Chairman, CEO, NCC. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 5G powered robots that just rolled in. I'm sure we can see it from there for the gentlemen of the press. That's a 5G powered robots. I'd like to also invite the chairman of boards, Jais Boards. Please, sir, if you can join. Yes, that works. I'm sure I'm not supposed to be in the picture. No, sir, I'm not supposed to be in the picture. No, it's chairman, yeah. The guys on the screen, can you dim the screen behind? I'd like to humbly request that we all be on our feet while our special guests of honors are already standing so that we can take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, can we all be on our feet this time around for the national anthem?
Patriots,
Thank you very much, our ministers. My name is Chooks, the General. I'll be your host for this event, and I want to sincerely appreciate you all. Thank you.
Ready, Sax.
We have refreshments at the end of the hall. Please, we have refreshments. We have refreshments at the end of the hall. Refreshments at the end of the hall, please. Revi Sax. Let's take it together.